Good afternoon. This is the New Orleans Talk Network, and it's you and your credit. I'm your host, Remus Bowman, and I just want to share just a quick thought with you. Every time seem to run out of steam, and I realize that maybe I'm not reaching, maybe I'm not having a positive effect. Maybe there's not really a big need for what it is that I'm speaking. And then all of a sudden, something happens like what happened. I believe it was last Wednesday or Thursday. Um, a young lady, she was in her mid 30s, the daughter of a previous credit restoration client of mine who I helped to trade in a vehicle that she hated for a new Camry about 2 years ago, by helping her clean up her credit report, to helping her increase her credit score. Um, this young lady was, she called me. Well, actually, she contacted the dealership. She did not realize that I was still a part of Toyota New Orleans. So she came in as a regular customer, but she just so happened to end up with me as a salesperson. She had gone to several dealerships throughout the New Orleans area, hoping to get a car. And she was very frustrated because she had gotten turned down everywhere. Now, I understand the responsibilities that people have and what brings them to this breaking point. But when I tell you, my heart bled for this person because we were standing in the middle of a parking lot at the dealership, and all of a sudden she starts bawling. And this is not the first time I've seen this happen. Uh, the tears just started flowing from her eyes, and she said to me, she says, "I've been working hard all my life, man." She said she was a school bus driver, and during the summer months, she wasn't working. So as a result, she fell behind on her insurance, and her insurance lapsed. Just so happens that she was involved in an automobile accident. As a result, she was involved in an auto accident in a vehicle that she had a mortgage on, or that she was still paying notes on. And she didn't have any insurance. Somebody demolished her car, and now she has a repossession on a vehicle that was considered a total loss uh, by the other person's insurance carrier, or by the other person's adjuster, the adjuster representing the other person. But there was no recourse for her. So as a result, this lady didn't end up with one repossession on her credit report. She ended up with two. And consequently, nobody was willing to give her a car loan. Now, this could happen to you. We have a tendency to think that the fire isn't hot if we don't stick our hands in the fire. But you don't have to actually experience how hot it is to know that it's a dangerous situation. And the whole point of this show, the whole point of everything that I'm trying to do, the communication, the conversation, the whole idea, the essence, is to put it on your mind, to make you think about how important credit worthiness is or could be to you if you're put in a particular situation. In this particular lady's case, like I said, she was standing in the middle. It must have been 10, 15 minutes. I stood there and I tried to comfort her. But the fact of the matter is, this is not the first time that this has happened. That I've seen this happen several. I'd almost have to say many times. So the only point I'm trying to make is that this should be something that we put at the top of our things to do. This should be a very important subject. This is something we need to learn. We need to learn this part of this aspect of our life so that not only will we not make the errors and end up with low scores, but we can also teach this information to our children and to our family members so that they can benefit from what it is that you've learned about one of the most serious parts of our life. You just can't do anything without a good credit score. Can't buy a car, can't list an apartment, can't buy a house, can't get cable, can't buy a phone, on and on. The list goes on. And it's very serious business. Well, it's time for our first break. And when we come back, I have a special guest, one of the contributors to A Church Without Wall, and we're going to invite them to tell everybody about the situation of the program that they've got going on this Saturday here at the facility. I'll be here to join in, and I like to invite everyone who's familiar with this program to come on in. I may even give a class on credit restoration if it's appropriate. We'll talk about it in just a minute. We'll be right back. I'm Remus Bowman. This is You and Your Credit on the New Orleans Talk Network.
Hi, this is Jill Samuel with Faith That Works. Join us today as we allow the Word of God to change the lives of people by equipping the body of Christ to evangelize the world. I want to personally thank you for spending this hour with me and the body of Christ. Join us on Tuesdays from 11 a.m. Central Standard Time to 12 p.m. on the New Orleans Talk Network. Your encouraging coach, Miss Jill.
This is Belinda Parker Brown, President of Louisiana United International. I am the host for A Force for Justice. You can listen to us every Thursday morning at 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Central, exposing the injustice in our criminal justice system. You can also call in at 504-341-8255 and tell us how you have become a victim in our criminal justice system.
On the New Orleans Talk Network, A Force for Justice with Belinda Parker Brown.
This is Tanya Free. The stage is now set. Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton for President of the United States of America. What's your take? Can Donald Trump win in November?
Join Tanya Free and friends at tanyafree.com. On air, online, and on point.
Bethesda House of Prayer. Bethesda is a church for non-traditional worshipers, a church designed for those who love God's word. Would you like to attend a church where believers and non-believers can choose to worship together? A church where cultural differences does not get in the way of God's message. We invite you to be our special guest. Our services begin 9 a.m. on Sunday, located at 7601 West Bank Expressway, Suite B, Marrero, Louisiana. For more information, contact us at 504-348-0132.
What is New Orleans Talk Network? It's today's hottest topics with an added flair. You get ready because the conversation will be hot and better yet, mobile. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app available on Android, iPhone, iPad, and you can listen to us on the web at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com. Write down our talk line at 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255. Interactive and worldwide. That's what we are. Join in on the real conversation and tell a friend about the New Orleans Talk Network.
Nobody gives you better conversation about your quality of life.
Let everyone know you listen to
the New Orleans Talk Network.
Hello. We're back. It's you and your credit on the New Orleans Talk Network. I'm your host, Remus Bowman. I'd like to invite you to interact with the show. The phone number is area code 504-341-8255. We have a special we have a special guest on the show today, and we also have a caller. I understand, George, you're there.
Yes.
Talk to me, baby. Tell me some good news.
Hey, man, I just tell you what you're saying is so true, and it's so proven. For instance, today, my son and I went to the National Dealers Association, where it normally takes 8 to 6 years to qualify to be in the business in management. My son only have 2 years, but he have a 785 beacon. You know what they did? They let him in.
Well,
his credit classified his sign of maturity for his experience in the business.
Well, George, it's not just the thing is, and I was just talking about people learning the importance of a good credit score. And what I like to say is, you've been teaching your sons the importance of credit forever, all their life. So this is going to prepare them to become successful.
Well, I'll tell you what, it came out more than prepared. It actually propelled him.
Right.
It pushed him forward.
Right. Well,
it was more than what we expected. It came to play, more than what we anticipated would. We knew it was going to be a factor, but we didn't know how much factor it really was until we got there and applied and found out that what made the decision was that.
Well,
they had more. Everybody didn't make it. They had people who qualified on the time in the business and everything else. But since your credit now is a secret score to qualify you and to grade you, sometimes it can cause you or prevent you or delay you from being in the area where you should be at when you already qualify for.
Well, nobody can really, most of the decision makers never meet anyone, never meet people. All they're looking at is the information, and they have to rely on the subsequent information that they get from credit scores and other avenues in order to get a feel for a person, get a feel for a person's sincerity. This function, it's having a good credit score. And most people think it's something difficult to do. It's really not. It's just a normal function that is expected of you. It's what you're supposed to do. If you make a commitment, and what happens is when your credit score shows your ability to accept responsibility for your commitments. It's like when you get married and you say, for better, for worse, for death do us part. Your credit score is the same thing. When you walk into a car dealer and you sign a contract to buy a house, that bank is only loaning you money, but they're establishing a marriage with you. It's a marriage contract that is going to go throughout the term that they've invested in you. Now, are you going to live up to your agreement? And when they have this opportunity to base their their decisions on whether or not you've accepted responsibility for your other agreements that you've made and lived up to them. Man, that makes them smile. Hey, we got a good opportunity here. This person is generally 99 out of 100 going to live up to his commitment. It's a wonderful thing, brother. It's
right.
a wonderful thing.
It just shows that you're not a character risk.
Absolutely. I understand that you guys went to tell everybody about the seminar that y'all went to last week. I know you and I spoke about it, but I think before you do that, let me just say this. Last year, over 500,000 millionaires were created in America. Over 500,000. You don't become a millionaire by generally working for other people. The only way you're going to become a millionaire is if you create your own opportunity. In fact, I got a text earlier today from my good friend, and I'm sure she's watching the show. She's one of my staunchest supporters, and she said, I wanted to share with you, for true independence, you have to make a job, not just take a job. That came from a good friend of mine, and the point that is well taken on me, because most of my life I've always been self-employed. But you've got to have a sense of commitment in order to be able to last in a self-employed situation. Now, you and I both know that you're the owner of First Impression Custom Clothes. And of course, you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Correct.
So you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about, because you made a commitment.
Sure.
You live up to your commitment not just with your business, but also with your family and your children. I will say this, you and I are very good friends, and we've been friends for years. And you're like a brother, and I appreciate you, brother. And but now tell everybody about the minority automobile dealers program that you participated in, so other people will understand that there's opportunities out there for nurturing. If you want to own it, if you don't want to own your own business, your own automobile dealership, if you're qualified, if you do the work, you don't just have to be a salesperson or work in a secondary position. You can actually own your own dealership. There's lots of programs out there.
It's a program called NAMAD. It's the National Association for Minority Dealers, where a group of manufacturers get together and buy into you, the dealership, and become co-partners and allow you 1 year to 36 months to see if you can operate and function the business. And if so, you can take over the dealership. Normally, it would take 10, 15, 20 million bucks. Now, here, all they're asking for is between 5 and 10% of that to get in.
So if you could,
which creates an amazing opportunity, especially if you are a minority.
Right. So if you can write a check for 50 to 500,000. Because I said 50 because you said 5% to 10%. You can, depending on the value of the type of business, of the type of dealership.
You can write a check between 500 and $1 million.
Okay.
And your credit checks out, which is the only thing they have to judge you on your character.
Right.
Because they're going to give you 10 to 20 million. Then you have to be credit worthy.
Absolutely.
The guy don't know your story. He don't know you're a nice guy or a nice lady. He don't know your situation. He don't know whatever. He only grading you based on your credit history.
As occasionally I tell a story. This happened after Katrina. I'm a Marine Corps vet. I have, I use the VA for a lot of my meds because it's a wonderful, wonderful program, especially since Obama's been in office. No matter what they say, it's great. But I got a letter in the mail a few months ago. This was about 2 or 3 years ago, and saying that I had a debt that I wasn't aware of. Well, I'd gone into this. I'd been an appointment had been set up for me to go into a facility to have some tests done because I'm at a particular age, and they wanted me to have these tests done, and it was supposed to be sponsored by the Veterans Administration. So when the letter came in, it said that I owed this debt. So I called the collection agent. Says, wait a minute, this was all set up by the vets. And obviously they must have ran my credit at the same time and realized that I paid my bills. So the guy calls me back the next day and says, we'll apologize. We're going to clear it up. That was the end of the story. Never heard about it again. A lot of times when you have a good credit score, when people can judge you that you make commitments and you live up to them, you have a greater opportunity to speak speak your truth to power. But if you don't have a consistent situation where you're working to keep where you're showing that this is an important thing for you to have in your life, then as a result people are going to automatically assume that you're somebody that likes to not pay your bills or not live up to your commitments. So is George going to be able to get in the program? He's in the program now then.
Man, we got an email saying that he qualified for the program. We getting some meetings and some tests, and next to this time, the Lord said the same. We on our way, bitch.
Hey, God put things in your life for a reason, brother. I can remember when I was living in Atlanta, and you brought George and your other son Alex out to visit with me, and they were just teenagers, and who would know that in the near future Georgie Party Jr. might be the owner of a car dealership. And I made a commitment to you. I told you I'd come work for him. I won't work for him long now. I might come out there and shine some shoes or talk a little crap on the sales floor. But I'm certainly, if in the event this happens for you and your family, man, come in as a supporter. I'll come buy a car if I won't do anything else. But you got to promise to give me one of the deals that I give people at the dealership I work at, so I can't pay retail.
Watch this. Just watch this retail and price. When you don't have good credit, you lose your negotiation power. At this point, now all you ask for is to get the car. You just want to get the car. You just want a chance to get the car.
Well, yeah.
So you lose your power of negotiating the price, the interest rate, the payment, and the term.
Well, that's not me though.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying that's what you got going on for you.
Man, look, it's such. I don't know. I feel good. I very seldom go off message, and I feel real good. That's some great news. And of course, I've been around your sons and your family for a long time. You and I have been friends since like the 80s or something. So, we've traveled a lot of roads, and to see your children grow up to be successful makes me happy because I look at them as family, just like I look at you as though you were my actual brother when we're best friends. And thank you, brother.
You my brother from another mother.
What most people don't know is you can actually have kindred spirits with people, and when you need them, they're always there. They always pull you up. I want to tell a little story. Wait, I got to do something first, George. I want you to stay with us, but I kept Glenda here for a reason. She's not just eye candy. I know she's very attractive, but Glenda is one of the co-sponsors on the show, A Church Without Walls. And this Saturday, A Church Without Walls have a big event coming up that they're going to be celebrating and inviting people to come out and enjoy meeting some of the other hosts and here at the radio station. And we'd like to invite everybody to come on to the facility over here on the West Bank Expressway at the New Orleans Talk Network, and meet Dr. Glenda Williams and her other co-hosts. And as a matter of fact, Glenda was just telling me a story, and we're going to get into that a little bit, but I want you to talk about what's happening Saturday. Whoa, I missed the cue. I actually missed the cue. It's time for our break. I got to come back. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Crown Properties Incorporated, development and property management specialists, specializing in commercial and residential properties. With over 20 years experience, we specialize in property management, tenant placement, rent collection. We also manage single group housing. We have a full-time maintenance staff, 24-hour emergency on-call services, and we're fully licensed and insured. Let us do all the work while you receive the money checks at Crown Properties Incorporated. For more information, call 504-366-4001. That number again is 504-366-4001. Or come visit us at 405 Gretna Boulevard, Suite 109, Gretna, Louisiana. Crown Properties Incorporated. For all your property management needs. You be the investor. We'll be the landlord. Crown Properties Incorporated.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Hi, I'm Linda Lewis, Director of Armstrong Family Services. I'm here to remind you that anyone can become homeless, even you. Armstrong Family Services is a nonprofit organization that serves families in crisis. We focus on keeping homeless families together. Post-Katrina, we have helped over 1,000 families. Now we need your help. For more information, please call 504-899-2995. Thank you!
This is Captain Black. This is Brother Al Mims. Join us for our new show, The Hostages That Fight Back, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Central. We are all hostages to something, but it's up to us to find the courage to fight back and make the change. So tune in to become the change you want to see in the world. Here on New Orleans Talk Network.
Brothers and sisters! Brothers and sisters! I don't know what this world is coming to.
There are moments in life when we hesitate. Buying a home shouldn't be one. Markets are changing and interest rates are still low. Now is the time to make your move. At Rocksteady Realty, we are determined to find a home for you. We know the area, provide personal attention, and more convenience. For all your residential and commercial needs, contact Willie Jones at Rocksteady Realty at 504-460-3819. Discover the Rocksteady difference.
No
nobody gives you better conversation about your quality of life.
Let everyone know you listen to
The New Orleans Talk Network.
We're back. It's the New Orleans Talk Network. It's you and your credit. I'm your host, Remus Bowman. Call me 504-341-8255. We have a guest on the set. She's not just eye candy. She's here to talk about what's happening Saturday. But before I turn it over to her, I just want to say one thing. Welcome to my show.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Tell us about Church Without Walls and what you're going to be doing Saturday.
The Church Without Walls is a show that comes on the New Orleans Talk Network, and they are actually doing a fundraiser on Saturday, July the 30th for 6 p.m., and it's going to end at 9 p.m. The tickets are $25. At this event, you're going to get a chance to meet all of the show hosts that come on New Orleans Talk Network, be able to shake their hands, talk with them to see what their shows are about, and just to get people into knowing that New Orleans Talk Network is here for the community. It is a community-based network, but you're going to also enjoy yourself because we're going to have music by Mr. Norris Bias, which I love to call him the maestro of Morero. You're going to have a skit from some young people that are coming out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Myself, Dr. Glenda Williams, will be doing a tribute to Lady Day, Miss Billie Holiday. And so there's going to be a lot of interesting things going on. And of course, you'll get to meet Mr. Remus, your host of Your Credit. So you're going to definitely enjoy meeting him. And I'm just excited about this event because it is an all-white affair. We're looking forward to seeing everyone come out and looking awesome in their white, and just a night of entertainment.
Well, you mentioned that it was it's a function of over here at the radio station at the New Orleans Talk Network, and you also mentioned that it's a community event. It's in our best interest as one community to do everything that we can to provide information to our consumers who are depending on us to give them the information so that they can balance their decisions. No matter what we think, more often than not, unless you have information to completely make the decision. Sometimes our decisions are not well thought out. Sometimes we just don't have as much information about something that we're thinking about, a proposal that we're looking at. So, this venue is here to help you get more information. You got to do your own thing. I often talk to people about credit restoration, and a lot of people, I represent a company. It's called United Credit Services, and or Financial Education Services, FES. It's both the same company. And a lot of people will tell me, well, yeah, but I can do this myself. I'm an advocate for you to learn to do it yourself. Yeah, okay, if you feel that you need a little help to get you on the path, because, this company provides counselors you can call and get the information you need, or get an idea of why things are the way they are. You can do that with United, but the objective of this show, and my objective, is to put people on the path so that they can make good decisions for themselves, so they can learn how to increase their credit scores on their own, so they can look for ways to my biggest concern today is, is because I work in a retail facility, I work in the car business. I oftentimes run into people when they're having to work 2 and 3 jobs in some cases. Seems a little unfair. It just seems so unfair. But the thing is that it depends on what type of lifestyle you want to have, what kind of house you want to live in, where you want to live. What, do you want to live in a nice neighborhood? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to drive a nice car? Do you want your kids to go to a good school? I was talking to a friend earlier, and she and I was talking. I said, "Man, you work like every day, don't you?" And when I say every day, I've known this person for several weeks. But she came into the dealership and bought a car, and I can honestly tell you, this person that has not had a day off in a month. And I'm like, man, you must be under an enormous amount of pressure. And she says, well, the light, I can almost see the light at the end of the tunnel. Now, let me just say this before I get too far off stream. This person has a good credit score. So imagine what her life would be like if she didn't, because she'd be paying high interest rates for stuff, the things she needed. She needed a car. She came out, she bought a car. That's how I met her. And of course, she, took an interest in the show and that kind of thing. She's a friend. But the point is that imagine what her life would be like financially if she had to pay high interest rates and try to have the same caliber, same lifestyle that she has to work 6-7 days a week for. I was so tempted to ask her, when was the last time you had a day off, man? But we, especially with females, you oftentimes, see ladies with, females who are head of household in many cases, and they're having to bust their, give it all, put it all out there every day. Never hear a complaint. Just something that I got to do for me and my family every day. But this thing that I'm talking about, this credit, if you can get your credit score up, then instead of suffering with a 10-year-old, 8-9-year-old car with 150,000 miles, you can go and buy a new car and pay the same note. And 3-4 years down the road, you won't have to be paying all these repair costs along with trying to pay a note. So you can see how that works together. Yes. Whereas if you buy a later model car and pay lower payments to begin with and have a warranty, so now you don't have any problems paying the note. Just all you got to do is pay the note and keep insurance, and then everything else is less. The expense, the cost to have that same automobile, or to have an automobile that you've cared for, you kept the oil change, you brought it to the dealer and had them check it out every 10,000 miles, made sure everything was running smoothly. 3 to 5 years down the road, you still got the same car with no problems. Whereas if you go out and you buy an older car, the banks are not going to give you low interest rates because you don't qualify. All I'm saying is, if you really sit down and you took a pencil and you put 1 + 1, it's always going to equal 2. It's just what I'm saying. Wow. All right, Glenn, come on. Let's talk about something you told me, and I'm a bearer of all kinds of stuff. But you told me that you had cancer.
Yes, I'm actually a cancer survivor, and I'm glad to be a cancer survivor. I had colon cancer, and it came back twice.
Wow.
And so, but now I am cancer free, and I'm glad to do that. But we also have something in common as well, Mr. Remus, that you don't know. For many years, I worked for Equifax as a bureau litigator. And so,
I think you and I met before, too.
Yes.
I'm almost sure of it.
And so I definitely agree and just love this show because it is definitely important, especially within the African American community, for them to be able to have access to this information. because we suffer so much with our race dealing with improper credit, and it hurts them definitely economically.
Well, what most people don't understand is that about 75% of all the information contained in the credit report has flaws. So and what happens is a lot of times people, creditors, cannot verify or substantiate why a debt is on your credit report, or exactly, and I mean, because I work in this industry, I'm seeing all kinds of stuff. I had a 18-year-old boy that came to the dealership who someone put a car in his name when he was 13, and a house and all kinds of stuff. And so he's 18 now, and he's had credit since he was 13. That's improper. And I told him, I said, I had he and his mom come over to the dealership, and I'm like, who did this to this kid? And my mom looked at me like I was totally out the box, because she may have known exactly how this happened. But it's so unfair that people do that to their children. But the point is that you have a remedy.
Yes.
But if nobody tells you about the remedy or how to remedy situations, that you don't always have to go to a credit restoration company to get this stuff fixed. If you come out Saturday, I promise you, I may take, it depends on whether or not, I can put a forum together. I don't want to interrupt what Church Without Walls has got going. If you have questions about credit, I'll be happy to answer them for you. That's what I do. I just give I give all of my stuff. 100%. I actually like one of the things that I enjoy better than anything, more than anything else, is when someone walks in my office and they have a good credit score. I enjoy that. I don't care if they're white, black, rich, poor. My eyes get this big, and I'm like, yes, can I help you?
Yes.
Now I can help you. Now I got something. See, because that basic thing that you should take care of and you didn't, I gotta work with that. I gotta work from under to try to get you to an equal, to a place where you just can see the light of day. It's so exhausting to see some of the adversity that people go through, and been there myself. We're not perfect. There's no perfect man. Everybody goes through ups and downs in life. As Dr. Glenda just said, she had cancer, and she also told me that she's going to be starting a new show here at the New Orleans Talk Network. What's the name of that show?
Well, it's actually an old show, but we're just going to be bringing it back, Touching Lives Today.
Oh, great. Hey, George.
Yes.
I apologize, man. I got off track. Talk to me. Are you enjoying the show, man? Are you enjoying the show?
Can I talk to the lady with Church Without Walls?
Yes.
Is she associated with Pastor Ralph West?
No, this is actually Church Without Walls is not an actual church. It is a foundation, and it is the name that is based for the show that they do on New Orleans Talk Network. But I am familiar with Dr. West.
Yeah, Dr. West?
Yes.
Strong in Houston, Texas.
Yes, he is. I lived in Houston, Texas from 97 to 2003 when I moved here to New Orleans.
Well,
Mr. Bowman, back to the credit thing, right?
Yes, sir.
Can I say something?
Yes, sir.
Here's the problem. Most people think they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it. Do what you do and say it's professional. Mr. Bowman is professional. I'm probably can fix my car. I'm gonna bring it to the shop.
Yeah, and you're right, George.
Do what you do, and leave the profession to do what they do. And the reason why I say profession, because if your credit is one of the top 5 most important things that's going to make you survive through this mean world, and you have no insurance, why would you try to do it yourself?
Correct.
You can, in any court, you can be your own lawyer. I wouldn't take that chance. Guess what? I'm not going to defend myself. I would take that chance. If something that most important, if that's significant, my life, my lifestyle, my zip code, then why chance it? Why chance it? And then the question will come up is most of the time about the finance. So let's take a look at the finance. For 1 second, let's take a look at the finance. If you look at your debt, you look at the principal of your debt and the interest of your debt, the interest that you pay. If you can reduce that down with good credit to get 0 credit, then that money becomes principal money. Absolutely. If your outcome a month is, let's say hypothetically, $2,000, and let's say you pay interest on credit cards, let's say that's only $300. So now you're paying $1,000 to the credit card. I mean, you paying $1,000, you paying $700 to the principal and $300 to the credit card. But my credit is good, and I apply for a 0% credit card and transfer that over. If I still pay the $1,000, now I'm paying $1,000 to the principal. I'm gonna get there 30% faster.
Absolutely.
Well, the money is available. The money to get your credit resolved and fixed is available. You just gotta allocate it to the area to get it done. But you gotta get behind it. So mine's gonna get started. Can you do it yourself? Sure you can, but I wouldn't take that chance.
Well, I'll be honest with you, George. I didn't do it myself when I got in the program. I let them do it for me. And for the people who say they can do it themselves, it's not the truth because they could. It has been done. That is the point. That is the point. You just made the point of the day. Yes. If I could have done it, I would have done it. It would be done. For those people that would like to contact me, my name's Remus Bowman. You can reach me on Facebook at Remus Bowman on Facebook. You can reach me at 504-274-8117. You can reach me at Gmail. That's remusbowman55@gmail.com. You can also reach me on my email address, or you can text me at 504-274-8117. I want to answer your questions. I want to help you. And if it's in your best interest to try it yourself so you can get the experience, I'm not going to tell you not to, but I'll tell you this, it won't work as good as having a professional do it. It's only $87 a month. Who can't afford that? Most of us spend $87 a day. I spend almost $87 a day.
But my question is, who can afford not to do it? That's the question.
Well, the fact is, the ones that can't afford not to, that don't do it because they think they. I had a guy that come into the dealership the other day with his girlfriend, and he starts yelling and screaming, "Man, I went to this company and they couldn't get this up. I didn't know it was a repo, bruh." You're trying to get a repo off your credit, and you're trying to do it yourself. Maybe you need to talk to a professional and let them show you how it can be taken off. Because we get repos off. We get Chapter 7s, Chapter 11s. We get collection reports and bankruptcies off. The reason why bankruptcies, a lot of people I've been noticing, a lot of people that bankruptcies, even after they do bankruptcy, they still have low credit scores because what has to happen, a lot of the information that's been dissolved on your bankruptcy needs to come off your report in order for the credit score to increase. If you still have all these collections on your credit report, you're never going to have a good score. So you're just doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. Get off the track, man. It's time. I'd like to say, Miss Glenda, I've enjoyed having you on the show.
Thank you for having me. Enjoyed it.
I hope you benefited from this time with us. George, I'm so happy about the success of the future potential success for you and George Jr. and your family in general, because it's a great opportunity, a great milestone for you. And imagine becoming a millionaire overnight just because you have a good credit score.
Hey man, it's already done. All you have to do is walk through the gate.
It's done.
It's done.
The work.
All the stuff that they say, you take this, you take that, it takes 2 years, 6 years, and 8 years. We only had 2, but 2 years they say would equal 6, if you ask me.
Absolutely.
People pass.
If you do the work, if you do the work, it's always going to be easy. But if you act like it doesn't exist, like it's going to go away, then it's never going to happen. It's just never going to change. If you do nothing, nothing will change. Come out Saturday from 6 to 8, 6 to 9 on the West Bank Expressway. What's the address here?
7601 West Bank Expressway.
Come on Saturday to 7601 West Bank Expressway. Meet yours truly. I promise you I'll take the time. I'll give you whatever I can, whatever information I can share with you. And we're going to look forward to it. This has been a great show. George, thanks for the great news.
Hey, one more word, Remus. Listen, this is what I suggest you do. Here's my suggestion.
Yes, sir.
Email Mr. Remus Bowman and make your own testimony.
Great.
I was actually, I got a phone call yesterday from a lady who came into the dealership about 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, with a 400 beacon score. And so I stayed after her for about 3 months. And so finally she said, well, let me try this program. She bought an older car. I guess it was 3-4 years old. And she drove it for about 6 months. After she got into my credit restoration program about 3 months after she had bought the car. 6 months later, she had gotten in, 3 to 4 months later, she got into the credit restoration program. 4 or 5 months later, she was a 700 beacon score. Now she has a brand new RAP4, and back in April of this year, she bought her first house. So within less than 2 years, she's driving a brand new car, bought a brand new house, about $200,000, and she calls me from Texas. Turns out she had been to California, not California, but Chicago, to one function that she drove a new car to, and she went to a wedding, a baby shower this Saturday in Texas. And which caused her to have the instance to have to call me and talk to me about a situation with the vehicle. So what happened is, because she had a good credit score, she freed up a lot of cash that she was able to give herself a better quality of life. If you want to live good, if you want to live at a better quality of life, start with your credit. This is you and your credit. My name is Remus Bowman. This is the New Orleans Talk Network. Bye-bye.